Hello and welcome. What do you want to do with your one amazing life? How do you want to change it? How do you want to make it better? That's what our topic is today. So, one of the things that's most important is to sit down with a pencil and paper. So, a couple of ideas I have to do that are this is a really nice, a leather bound, feels good in your hand journal. It's probably got about, I'm going to guess, 80 to 100 pages. It's got a nice little placeholder, and it's easy to carry in your backpack or your briefcase, take it on vacation. Another one is just a little spiral notebook. I get these, I write a lot, and I'm also an author, and so it's important to me to have a good tool to write and put my ideas down on paper. A third option would be one of these composition books, and they're pretty inexpensive compared to the leather-bound journal, and you can put these easily in a suitcase for traveling or your briefcase if you're going to work. One of the things that's just so important is to write about it. What do you want to do? What changes do you want to make? And start keeping those ideas alive and change them. They could change from week to week. I have friends that were here in the Rocky Mountains and they needed to move back east. So they planned a couple years in advance. Where were they going to move to? Were they going to be close to family and friends that they've had back there for many years? When do you think was a good time for them to sell their house? So when they actually did put their house on the market, they did very well. They planned it out at a good time and they got a great offer. So whether it's moving across the country or you just want to rent instead of own your house, those things are really important to plan out. And why? What motivates you and why would you want to move? I know this is a topic that was current for me because I moved to the Rocky Mountains from another state. But before I did that, I stopped to think about, okay, what are the real positives for me? What is the benefit of moving? Because also moving is very expensive. Then I thought about, well, I'm just going to get a van. I want to be a van traveler. And I changed my mind on that. So, but that's a thought I've had for a while. Do I want to get a van? Do I want to travel and just enjoy, that kind of lifestyle? I don't know. I'm still debating that. But the point here is write about it. Write down what your ideas are, make notes. And then another idea is explore. Maybe there's something you haven't thought about. So if you're exploring and researching and digging a little bit into what your options are, whether it's making a financial change in your financial life or it's planning a move, there are things that you can learn about and make specific, make options for yourself. If plan A doesn't work, you can always look at plan B. So I think it's good to explore. I have a friend currently looking for a new automobile. Are they going to lease or are they going to buy? And what are the benefits for them for both of those options? Another friend of mine is seriously thinking about retiring early and then spending a month traveling in Europe. So I've been talking to them about that. And what is feasible for them financially? Would they come back after a month away and work here in the States? Or will they work part-time while they're on the road and traveling? So there are a lot of issues to consider when you're making big changes in your life. Maybe you're in a relationship and you don't like some of the things that are happening. So all these things that we're talking about, you could seek professional help for. You could seek a financial advisor. You could seek a relationship coach or counselor. You can talk to someone in real estate to see if it's a good idea to sell your house, or maybe you should just rent it in this economy and use that as an income. So explore your options, and then the fourth part of this is plan it out. Plan out your steps so that you know pretty much what you're getting yourself into when you make big changes. And I know that talking about this sometimes brings on a little bit of anxiety, you know, oh, I don't know. And so it keeps you in a holding pattern when you have that. So be aware of how you're feeling. But if you write it down and then you start to think about all the options and the ideas that go along with your change, you can get a better handle on your emotions, your feelings, and also talk to people that you feel comfortable with to make that change. I always feel it's good to have an expert give me some advice. I ask friends that are very good with automobiles, and I recently was considering buying a truck. And so I've been investigating that as a means of traveling. So look at your options, explore, write it down, and that's a great way to make the changes that you want to have in your life, to make it a better life for yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please drop comments below to let me know if there's something you'd like me to talk about or how I can help you. Thank you. See you in the next video.